Unbeknownst to him, he was just a tool to get resource, to get status, to get, to a station position that she wanted to get to. I made friends with the second cutest girl in class. Caught me by surprise. I just thought it was going to be your run-of-the-mill anime where, you talk romance and then maybe the main character assembles a little bit of a harem around him or has two love interests just competing for his affections. And I couldn't have been more wrong. This anime, I should have known when it was developed from a light novel and not from a manga. Delves into mature topics and handles them with aplomb. One issue I want to highlight that they talked about was the issue of divorce. And it's been, a floating theme, something that I thought they would just lightly touch on and kind of keep in the background, keeping the romance front, stage, and center. But no. In the recent episodes, I think this was episode 9 or 10, it really came out and was quite a impediment to the main character. And we've seen him building towards things, building towards this crumbling of sorts. But I did not expect him to have the reaction he did, and subsequently the fallout. It was very realistic. I mean, I know that the author put in time to research, if they didn't have personal experience to go along with that, how divorce affects kids. And it's something that's much needed, especially in modern day society, and especially Japan. A concept that was foreign to me until I had lived here in Japan was the idea of once families separate, divorce happens, truly you do separate. In the West, we have custody battles and, the fighting over the time and the management and the money, resources. But in Eastern societies, I know it's like that in Korea as well. They make a clean break. Once you break up, that is it. This family on this side, this family on this side, and it leaves someone alienated from their family that you once were a part of and built together with someone, and now you're just a stranger. And it's just such a foreign concept, no pun intended, to me, as, family is family. And, whether you're together or not, whether you're married or not, whether you like each other or not, that's something that's inseparable from the concept. Not to quote like Dom or anything, but family is everything, or however he says it in the Fast and Furious franchise. But they call it wild speed here in Japan. It's crazy. But yeah, it's something that it just feels wrong, and having witnessed it a lot here with my students, people I know, just acquaintances, and in the mediums, in anime and movies, which I don't often see here, but big anime fan, as you could tell making this video. But like it's something that really needs to be addressed, because one thing, let me go off a little bit on a tangent here, but a lot of foreign guys find out the hard way, unfortunately. You gotta do research before you join families with somebody and make a new one, a nuclear family of your own. But a lot of times, guys here marry a Japanese chick, and she switches it up. They start having sex and post kids, and then they become two different countries. One on this side and one on that side. And she's like, "Cool, go do your own thing. Have your affairs, whatever. I don't care." But they get alienated, from this person who they thought they were building a life with. Unbeknownst to him, he was just a tool to get resource, to get status, to get to a station position that she wanted to get to, and then kind of have your feelings after that. But if it goes terrible route, and decide that they're no longer going to be together, or one party decides that she will then take the kids, and he oftentimes will never see them again. Not because she's taking them to another country. No, she just moved, and he no longer has access to them. He no longer has the right to see them. But in the worst cases, some worst cases, she may jump ship and hop on a plane, and he has no rights to see that kid there and after. And it's just such a horrible, excruciating process for these guys. And they a lot of them go, fight tooth and nail. You can go and Google and see how many guys are fighting for custody as of this freaking moment. And there was a ruling, I think maybe in the most recent years, might have been like last year, to try and change that. But as it stands, those guys still are separated from their loved ones, their kids, the people who had a part in making, and suddenly just being removed from them like that. And of course, your kids, I dealt with things in my own family, own history. They're not gonna understand. They just know that this person isn't here, ergo they don't care. And then they get fed stuff by one person, and it's a whole mess. But anyway, so you want to skip this whole part, go back to that section and just fast forward to getting back to the anime. But like, comment, share, and subscribe Thanks for watching. Check me out at Centron Anime, Centron Life, or Centron Laughs, or other social media.